Hi, I'm Keiko, and today I am going to show you how to make some cute little fish. So this is an easy beginner project that I will be showing you each step of the way. I will also have a free pattern for you that you can download at my website. So my new website is at myalpacafarm.com, and I will add that in the description for you. Our farm is still Wisteria Surrey Ranch, but you may have already heard I had some issues with the forwarding, but anyway. So I will cover the materials. I'm going to go a little more in detail since this is intended for beginners, that you can learn a lot of different skills and different tips and tricks along the way. I do also have another little panda one that I just did. Let me just see if I can pull it up for you. And this panda one also has some free patterns available. So look out for some beginner tutorials. And okay, so let's see. This total weight, just so you know, it only uses 0.07 ounces or 2 grams total. So it's like this tiny little bit of wool. And I will also cover all the little wool bits and materials and information, since this is meant for people who are just starting out and want some good easy projects. So you will need a felted foam. I have a super small one here. Sorry, my paper's flying around. I have a super small one here. You can use little ones for little projects. You can buy them in larger ones. You can actually even use like sponges, so you know, just kind of giving you different ideas if you can't get certain things in your area. It's basically a cushion so that your needle won't break. So sometimes you can get these like in like computer packaging material. So there's a lot of different places you can find. It's just really dense foam. Okay, and then you'll need a felting needle. These are barbed, and the barbed needle basically tangles the wool, and that's how it works. There are different gauges of felting needle. I'm just gonna, for right now, for simplicity, recommend the 38 gauge all-purpose, and just find the least expensive one. I think the triangular one is the least expensive. That should work for pretty much all of your project, especially with this one today. Okay, so what I actually did is, so you've got, I have this in blue. You can use any color, of course, but I dyed this with, okay, so that's the wool bat that I had. This is usually also called core wool, or you can buy it as a needle felting wool bat. These are they should be pretty inexpensive. This is only like 0.4 ounces, so it's not even half an ounce, which is about 11 grams. Like, look at how much there is here. So if you bought an ounce, you can do quite a bit. And then since this is only 0.07 ounces or 2 grams, you could like make 5 of these roughly with this amount. So I'm just kind of showing you for like a visual. And wool bats are going to be fluffier, so it depends on the wool what it may look like. So I'm looking around. So for instance, Surrey alpaca fiber, I have Surrey alpacas. Surrey alpaca fiber is very dense, and maybe dense is not the right word. It's not fluffy. It doesn't have crimp. So this has crimp, which is little waves. And so it's more like silk. So like if you looked at an ounce and it was like a roving, it doesn't look like a whole lot, but there's some weight to it. So depending on the fiber characteristic, how fluffy and puffy it looks is going to depend on the characteristics of the fiber itself. So and generally these are sold by weight. So anyway, yes, okay, so if this is only 0.39 ounces, and you can just get like a little fluff, or if you have a full ounce, sorry, I don't know what that would be, full ounce, maybe like 20, 25, 30 grams of wool. Then you can take in little bits and pieces, so it's not a lot. So I think this is probably more than 0.07 ounces, but you can take a little bit. I actually have a free how to dye wool with Kool-Aid and these are the no sugar Kool-Aid packets sold in the US. They're like 25 cents. It's like a tiny little pack. It just has a lot of color. The nice thing about that is it already has citric acid in it, so that helps set the dye. If you're using like regular food dye, most likely you can use like vinegar. I think vinegar, or I think, you know, you can also probably get citric acid. You basically like dip it in. I'm trying to remember now. I haven't done it in a little while. But you can dip like I usually dye yarn. You dip the yarn in like citric acid or maybe even vinegar water first and soak it. And then you can wring it, and then you can put the dye in, and then you set it with heat. So anyway, there's a separate video, but you can buy wool that's already colored, but it's usually a lot cheaper to just buy like an ounce of wool bat and then just color it in all sorts of fun different colors. Okay, so that is just a quick tip. I will try to remember adding the how to dye wool like in your kitchen with Kool-Aid video tutorial, but it's available on my YouTube channel somewhere for sure. Okay. Okay, so you only need 0.07 ounce of any color, but you'll need like little bits and pieces of other color for accent. Okay, so just whatever you've got. You can do it, I guess, all blue too. Okay, let me see. Is there anything I needed to mention? Nope, I don't think so. So go ahead and download your free pattern, and you can join me with a cup of coffee or tea, and then we'll do this pretty much in real time. I'm not super fancy with the editing, so I just kind of talk through. I do a close-up of the what I'm doing, and then we'll just do like kind of step by step. Okay? Okay, so now for a bit of the close-up. So let me just show you what I'm gonna start with. So I'm gonna start with the body and then the tail, and then we're gonna put it together, and then we'll add the face, okay? Okay, so since the total weight's about 0.07, it doesn't have to be exact. I double checked the weight of what I was showing you earlier. This was 0.11 ounce, so it's probably like 2 grams, a little over 2 grams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit for the tail. So I'm gonna maybe like pull off a little bit for the tail because it's all the same, and then maybe a little bit for the fin. So just in case, I'm just pulling this off to the side. Okay. And then just in case, it's always easier to add more later, so I'm gonna just pull a little bit off so that I can maybe add and make it rounder or something. So I'm just putting off a little bit to the side since I do have a little extra as well. Okay, so I've got this, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll it up, but I'm going to, let's see, go like that. Okay, and then that's probably good. Okay, so, and again, you know, you may not have a piece that's like nice like this, so like let's just say you have a lot of little pieces. I'm just gonna show you just so that you know how to work with different pieces. Okay, so if you had a big piece like that, you can fold it up and roll it. If you have like lots of little pieces like this, you can just sort of, let's see, okay, oh, so another thing you can do is you can kind of like pretend and sort of make it like that. Okay, yeah, so you can actually reattach it too and make it into a shape if you want to, and then sort of fold it, okay? Or if you have just little pieces like this. Actually, okay, let me show you. I just saw this as I was doing it. So see how that's a little bit more curvy, that's a little bit more curvy, and this is a little more kind of sloppy piece. I'm gonna put that like in the center and kind of like overlap it like that. Just felt good. Okay, and then I'm going to roll. So all I'm doing is sort of folding the ends in and then rolling as tight as I can, because the tighter I can get it, there's going to be a lot less I need to sort of felt in. Okay, so already I can tell the center's gonna need a little extra, but I had already pulled that out, so that's gonna be perfect. So at this point, I'm gonna hold it here. Okay, and I'm going to first needle felt here. There. Okay, so I'm holding it and I'm making sure I know where the needle's going, and I'm just poking the seam at the moment, okay? There we go. Okay, so see how that's already keeping it in place? Now it's very odd shaped at the moment, so now wherever you poke, ooh, I don't like this needle, so let me see. I have several probably same kind of needle. These aren't working too good. Let's see. I like this one. They may all be the same gauge, but I don't know. I have a whole bunch of I don't know needles, so all I do is I just try it and see what feels good and feels like it's going in. Okay. And generally I have mostly 38 gauge needles. Okay. Especially for most work. So you can do the gauges of the needle go like, let's see, you got 38 for all purpose, you got 40 gauge for the finer ones. So for instance, I use 40 gauge for Suri alpaca, and then 36, which is the one for coarse fiber. Oh, sorry, coarse fiber. Okay. And it creates bigger holes because it's just the thickness of the, yeah, it's kind of backwards because the higher number is actually finer. You'd think it would get like bigger needles or something, but no. Okay. So I'm just poking away, as you can see. So right now my goal is to just get it to come together. I'm not really shaping it just yet, because now it just looks like a sausage. Okay, so since I'm gonna want it a little more round, I'm just squishing it for the moment. Okay, so I can see, okay, so you see that, okay, if I poke in this way, it's going to condense it this way. So I'm going to actually put it upright, and so wherever you poke, what it's doing is it's tangling the wool fiber and making it tighter and smaller, and the direction that you poke it in is the direction that it's going to tangle, I think. Something like that. Okay, there we go. Oh, see, like just that. Now again, it's not super perfect yet, but you can see how, like, when I angled it like that, you can see how it's now a lot more stable. Okay, and so you can just kind of spend time shaping it like this, and now I'm actually going to be shaping it a little bit. So I'm going to be paying attention to the front of the head where I want it to be rounder and bigger. And then, okay, so right here, I'm angling it like this so that you can see a little bit more of a shape going this way, okay? And it can be really, you know, there's a lot of different kind of fish, so whatever shape it turns out is the perfect kind of fish. And you know, it occurred to me, I was like, why am I just making blue fish? I should have made it in different colors so I would have like 3 different colors. I don't know. It would have been more fun, but I probably had like blue wool laying around that I decided to use. And oh my gosh, okay, I have the cutest idea. You know those little fishing games that, like fishing toy games that you have for little kids that have like a magnet or something, and then they have a little fishing pole, and you could just like pick it, you know, like put these little fish, oops, I can't see it, put the fish in a little bowl, or just, I don't know, maybe you can make a felt mat or something, and then you can put little magnets, or maybe even like a little loop too. You can put a loop, and then you can make little fishing game. I just thought that would be so fun. Or like, you know how sometimes they have like numbers on the back of the fish, and you can win prizes. So I think this would be really fun for parties. I don't know. Okay. So, and like, I don't know why I didn't make other fun colors. Now I just have 3 blue fish. Okay, so I like this shape. This is a little bit more shaped than my picture here. I don't know why I did it that way today, because this one's very much like the round, regular shape. Okay, but that's okay. If you do want to make it a little bigger in the center, remember we pulled out a little bit of wool, you can just kind of add that in and make it bigger. So let me just show you, just so you can see. Or do I want to do that after I add the tail? You know what, I'm gonna do that after I add the tail to like kind of do a more of a final shape. So I'm gonna save this little piece, and after I add the tail, because it might get a little sloppy here, I'm going to put one more layer like that, and make it kind of look like a little more of a rounder finished one. Okay. Oops, sorry, it's flying all over the place. Okay, what was I gonna do? Okay. I was gonna make the tail now. Losing my train of thought. Okay. And sorry if you hear little click click sounds, those are my little dogs. Little dog, big dog, all sorts of dogs. Okay, walking around. Okay, so the tail, there is a pattern here. I'm kind of just going to eyeball it first. Okay, so again, you can do like 2 pieces like this. Like you can separate it. I just like to keep it together. You can separate it. Let me see. I'm looking at it. This kind of wool is pretty easy to work with, so I'm actually going to put it here. Can you see? Okay. And again, there are so many different ways to do this, but I think I'm just going to roll it like that on one side and then roll it on this side. Oh, look at that. That's perfect. Did you see how I did that? You might need to rewind it. No, just kidding. I'll do it again. So I had a little piece like this, kind of like that. And so I was trying to make the top part where it would be the split right here. Okay. And then I was kind of looking at it like, how can I do this the easiest way? And since I kind of made it into a little bit of a heart, fluffy heart shape, I decided I was just going to roll one side like that to get the general feel. So let me show you that. Okay. And actually, if you're kind of wanting to hold it in place, this might be a good way to just hold it in place before we do the other side. I was kind of testing it to see how it would work. Okay. Yes. Very good. Very good. Okay. Ta-da! That works so well. Okay. And then we'll go same thing. I'm just folding it this side. Fold. And remember, you can always add more. So this was folded same way. You can always add more. So just get that general shape that way so that you have like a tail base, and then you can always adjust it by adding a little bit more. Okay, so let me see what it looks like right now. And it's totally okay if each fish turns out a little different, okay? Okay, so far that's what I have. Okay. And I'm going to leave this loose for right now because when we attach it, it's going to be easier if it's fluffy. Okay, so I'm looking at it going, okay, that's still a little too big. So let's see, what can I do? I can, okay, I'm going to fold it. Let's see, I'm going to fold it down and then point this way. So, okay, let me just do this step by step, okay? So I'm going to fold it down. I'm gonna poke it first, okay? So I'm just securing it to the base here. Let me just show you. So it was a little long, so I folded it here. I'm not quite done. Okay, so what I'm gonna do on this side is I'm gonna fold it and I'm gonna hold it here, okay? So let me just do one side at a time. Let's see. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch. So that was folded here, right? And that's not how I want this end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch it, pull it a little bit, okay, and then hold it in place so that I can get the tip. Now this is going to be a little thick on the tip, so just go real careful and easy with your needle so you don't break it. Don't force anything. Okay. See that? That worked out so well. Okay, and then now I'm going to needle felt in like here and here to shape it. All right, so I'm going straight down the center first, and then I'm gonna go on the side. And there really is no right or wrong way to do any of this, so I'm just looking for easy, quick ways to do it that's relatively easy to replicate. Okay. How's that? It went well. Okay, so this is a little thicker, so I'm, it's all right. I'm gonna go ahead and fold it, secure it here. I'm gonna pinch the tip and pull it a little bit, and then secure. Okay, so let me hold that in place. So this is the first fold. Oh, sorry, covered it. Okay, now I'm gonna pinch the tips and pull just a little bit. And then I'm gonna, as I'm pinching, I'm holding, and then I'm gonna try to get the very tip first. And then I'm just shaping. This is a great way also to make leaves. Okay. All right, this is looking really good. Okay. So that's what I have so far. Now, if that, like, I mean, fish have different size fins, so you could probably have it one that's larger and smaller. But if you want it the same and you want to shift it like that, all you have to do is, okay, now watch your finger on that, but you're just going to sort of tighten it. Okay, and then you can also pull this one. See that? Real easy to fix. Okay? Oh, I like that. Okay, so you can attach it already, and then we can do these colors, or since it's flat and probably easier now, I'm gonna add the colors to it now. And just for simplicity, I'm going to make this both like kind of this peachy orange. So, and I'm just gonna do it long ways like this. So this is my quick pre-felting. Okay, and then I'm just going to go like this. You can make this in any shape. You can swirl it, do whatever you want. I'm gonna do the orange one, orange or yellow. I'm not sure what this beautiful color is. Okay. And all I'm doing is I'm just poking it in. Super not fancy. And then I'm gonna take some green. I'm gonna pull it. I'm gonna just pull little pieces. Okay. So here you go. There we go. Okay. And poke, 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 poke. So these free videos with a free pattern, you're just gonna get the size guide. So I think I showed it to you, and then the video. And I don't have like a step-by-step instruction with the pictures that I do have for my ones on Etsy that I sell. Those take many hours of of work, so I don't have the step-by-step picture instruction tutorial that you can print out for these free ones that I do. But this is one of the most helpful things that I usually find, where you know how to get the right size and proportions, especially if you're just beginning. Okay, so it's a little not perfect, but I'm just doing this so that you can see how it's done. You can take more time to make it more, you know, a little bigger, a little more fancy, however you like, okay? So the next thing, and so that it's gonna go on nicely and it doesn't look like, you know, one side like this, what we're going to do is, remember I said just keep this part a little loose? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna open it up a little bit. You see? Like that. I'm gonna try and see if I can show it to you in different ways. Okay, so we're gonna open that up where it was loose, and what we're going to do here is go like that. You see? And then it's gonna go like this, so that the tail goes right in the right, like, kind of place. It's center, it looks cute. Okay? So, like this, and then we're gonna attach it. Okay, so I'm going to go like this. Wait, where are you, my little fish? Okay, so you want to figure out where the head and the front is and the tail, and then put it, position it however. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then the first step is you just want to secure it on both like sides and make sure it's centered. So I'm only poking in 2 locations at the moment, okay? And then after I check, I'm gonna go all the way around, but let me just look. That looks okay. Okay, so here you go. Okay, and then now I'm going to hold the tail, poke, 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 poke. So I'm just going around. I'm gonna twirl this one here. Okay. And again, if you wanted to spend more time to get the tail exactly same, you can definitely do that. Since this is more of a how-to, I'm just showing you the process so you can do it however. Okay, so now I do see how unbalanced this is. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try and see if I can show you. Wait, which way's the top? Okay, this feels like a little more at the bottom, flatter. Okay, so what I'm going to do, so just so you know how to fix it if you want to. So I'm looking at it going, okay, where does it need to be tightened? So what I'm going to do is for this part, because it's a little bigger here, I'm going to try to angle it and tighten it going like that a little bit. Okay, so let's see how that goes. So tighten, tighten, tighten. Okay, tighten, tighten, tighten. There you go. Okay, and then I'm also going to, okay, this one, watch your fingers. Okay, I'm going in the center. Okay. And I'm also going to sort of tighten the fins as well. So see how I'm just kind of holding the fins. Okay, so that actually does look better. It is still a little large on the bottom, but again, you know, that's my special fish. So that's gonna be good. Okay, so let's continue. And okay, let me continue. So I do want to make this fish a little tighter. Let me see. I saved that pretty little piece of blue. Okay, so I saved this really pretty little piece of blue. So I'm gonna go ahead and sort of make my fish a little rounder today. And also I think this is a darker blue. I mean, it's a little bit of a shade because I dyed it and it wasn't very even, which is okay. All right, so I'm gonna try to give it like a nice little flat surface. So I'm just adding a nice little blue over it, blue fluff. And here we go. Okay. And always, like, you if you don't know, hopefully you already know this, but the YouTube does have that controller on there, so you can make it go faster, like 2 times the speed. So if you want to go faster, you can go faster. If you need it to go slower, you can go slower too. Okay. Okay, so I'm happy with this for right now. And I am now going to make the little fins and the little thing on the top. So let's do the little top part because that's even easier. So you can just, ooh, I've got everything flying because I have a ceiling fan going. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll this up like so. And since this doesn't have to be super exact for me, I'm not gonna felt it on here. I'm just gonna felt it directly on here to save a little bit of time. And you can make this bigger, taller, depending on the kind of fish you're making. I'm just making a little blue fish, so this is the fin, or the top fin it's gonna get. Okay? There. Very cute. I like it. And, oh, that's in the way. And let's get the little fin. So I do have fin times 2. There is a little size guide, but you can eyeball all this as well. Okay, so I'm going to do maybe 2 little pieces. We'll see if that's big enough. So I'm gonna fold it in half, and maybe, so I did half, and then I'm gonna fold again, maybe one more time. There we go. How did I do that? Okay, I folded it in half, okay, and then rolled it like 1, 2, like 3 times. Okay. So I'm just gonna hold it like that for a moment. Okay, just so I might not remember 2 minutes later, right? Okay, so folding it again, I just do the same thing. So I can make 2 about the same. Okay, so that's pretty good. Okay. There. That's about close enough for now, okay? Okay, and so I'm just gonna, again, sort of pre-felt it a little bit like that. And then since I think I have one end a little more, yeah, sort of like pointy and then attach. So I'm going to decide which side is going to be a little more pointy, and then I'm just going to sort of shape it like that. Doesn't have to be super exact though. So kind of like that. Oops, there, okay. And let's see, this one, this is the, okay, this is the thinner side. So if you wanted to be super intentional, you can like fold it up. So you can fold, actually I'm gonna fold it backwards so you can see it better. So you see that? I'm just gonna fold it backwards like this. And see how you can get that little tip? Okay, perfect. So then I'm going to just secure that. So just a lot of different fun ways to make shapes. Just play with the fiber. Okay, there we go. Yay! All right, so I got two. Close enough. All right, so now I'm just gonna attach it to the side of the fish. So I'm just poking it in. It's really not super exact, but that's gonna be good. Okay, and there is a picture, so if you aren't sure where the fish fin goes, you can just use the picture. I want to get to the eyes because those are so fun. Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. This would be really fun to even put like in a little fish bowl, like a fish that never dies. Okay, next, let's do the eyeballs. Okay, so need a little bit of that white. I like to make these eyes kind of big for fun. So let's see. Ta-da. It might be too big. Again, it's okay. Like just take a little bit about the same size. If not, you can always adjust it. You're just gonna roll it up into a ball. Actually, this one we're gonna want to do in a more of a flatter eye, flatter circular eye. Okay, so there we go. Oh, looks pretty good. Okay, so I got one. Is that gonna be big enough? I don't know. We'll see. One more. Okay. And you want to sort of make sure it's flat. Okay, let's see. That side looks a little bigger. I'm just going to do a light pre-felt on this, or I mean like needle felt on this to get the size, because the eyes, okay, that's probably okay. All right, so I got those. I'm gonna look at the fish. Okay, so now I'm looking at the front of the fish. I'm kind of like, not too keen on all these little spots. So before I put the eyes on, I want a little bit more of a smoother face. So I'm going to just take a little bit of this. You know me, I like to just sort of do a pre-felt. So I don't want to do this too tight because I want the edges super loose, but I want like the center a little tighter so the face looks kind of nice. Okay, so I'm gonna put it on like that. Ooh, perfect. See how it changes? Okay, so you got that, which has got all sorts of little bumps and I don't know what happened. Okay, and then we're gonna go like that. See how pretty that is? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so now I'm just poking in first the edges and trying to blend the edge in. I'm going in so lightly that I'm not even using my foam because I'm probably only going like this tiny bit. Okay. Okay. So I like that so much better. Smooth. Okay. So then eye positioning is a little tricky, so kind of play with it or look at the picture. Okay, and then go ahead and, so again, just do it in lightly so that it's easier to pull out if you don't like the positioning. I'm gonna have to look at it to do this because I can't go backwards on this. But all I'm doing is poking the, I'm actually right now just poking around. Okay, and then I'm going to look at it and make sure I like the position and the size. I'm gonna say close enough. Good. Okay, so I do see this eye's a little bigger, so I'm gonna, as I'm putting it in, I'm gonna try to go from the outside inward to sort of shrink it. Okay, so I'm doing that, and then I'm gonna fully put it in. There we go. Okay, and then this one too. Oops, can you see it? Oh, sorry about that. Okay. All right. So, yeah. Okay. That eye looks really good. This one looks a little light to me. So what I'm going to do, and again, I'm just showing you these things so that you can make adjustments and know that, like, you know, you're doing great. You're doing great. Okay. So if that happens and you're like, okay, one eye looks really good, I need a little bit more wool, then I'm gonna take like a serious pinch right here, like a super little bit, okay? And I'm gonna roll this in so it's easier to manage. And then I'm going to see if I can flatten it up a little bit again. Okay, and then I'm gonna add it in, see, and then poke it. Okay. All right. It's better. So if I were just doing this on my own, I might do just a little bit more an adjustment, but again, I want to continue. So the next thing I'm going to do is the little black. Okay, so again, there is a little example. You can try to use that, or however it comes out, like it's very expressive. So you just enjoy the expression you create. Okay, so I'm gonna pull a little bit. Okay, and then here we go, and just roll. Roll, roll, roll. Okay, good, good. Doesn't feel like it's the same size today. And some days, like, you're just gonna be like, oh, everything's equal, and everything's even, and other days you're like, huh, I did it 10 times, it's not working. All right, close enough again. All right, we're going somewhere. Okay, so you can put it in the center or on the top part. Like, it will completely change the expression. So just play with it. Let's see, where do you want your eyes? Sorry, I'm gonna have to do this looking at it. Otherwise, it could make for a very interesting eyeball. I always like to do the outside of the eyeball first, like kind of like all around first, like all around. And then if I like it, so I'm gonna wait to do both. So I just did the perimeter, okay? Like if you were drawing it, it would just be like the outside bit. I'm gonna do it for both before I completely felt it in, because it's just much easier to pull it out. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm good with that. Okay, so there's the eye positioning. I'm pretty okay with that. So now I'm going to actually secure it in. Okay, and just poking it in nice and tight so the eyes don't fall out. Should not be good. Okay, if you like a little more, you can add like a tiny bit of white as reflection. Let me see what it looks like if we do that. Okay, so you would take a tinsy bit of white, roll it up real good. And you can do this with any any of your eyes. It's really interesting. Okay, and then let me just see what it looks like. So you can put it at like the top corner, and it's kind of like the reflection of the light, but it can really add another level of personality. Oh, I like it. Okay, yep. Look at that. Much, much more expressive. Okay, oh, that looks a little big. So that's a tiny bit too big. So I'm gonna just pull like really little bit off, okay? And then re-roll. Okay, and hopefully I don't lose it. Put it there. There we go. Oh my god, it's so cute. Okay, I love it. Looks like it's gonna start talking to us. There we go. Okay. It's so cute. Okay, now we gotta put the okay, and you see how sometimes like there's like little bits of fiber that's like flying around. I can't not find my little scissors right now. It's like I got a huge one way over there, so I'm not gonna do it right now, but like you can just sort of trim it off, okay? If you got like, I don't know if you can see, this guy's got little eye, the white, yeah, you can just trim that off. Just okay, now the cute little mouth. Okay, so I'm gonna pull a little pinch of pink. Okay, and I am just going to just make sure it's as even as possible. Sometimes you have to do it a couple times. Okay, and I'm gonna try to make this into a little string, a yarn-ish kind of thing. So I'm gonna go like that. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so it's not always gonna come out even. And so see how that's a little bit like thinner? So I'm probably gonna end up folding it as I put it in. So let me just see what happens. Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of, it's so cute. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna decide the ends. So it's still not fully tucked in. Okay, so see, it's still fluffy here and here, but I'm trying to figure out where I want the little ends to be. And then I'm gonna fold it over. So there's a little bit here I'm folding over. This one I'm gonna fold over like that. Can't see, sorry. Like that. Okay, so let me fix that real quick. God, they can have such personalities, right? Oh my gosh. Okay. How cute is that? Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay. Oh, and you can add more decoration color-wise up here. I think I did that with these guys. I did not do it with this one, but that's completely all up to you. However you want to decorate, you can give it more hearts or, you know, whatever you like, but this is how you make your cute little fish. So now I've got 3 blue ones, and if you wanted to do it in different colors, I think that would be fantastic. Oh my goodness, hang on, where are you? Okay, there. And you can kind of see how the different size with the eyes, the different ways you can do the, yeah, the size, I think. So let's see, there we go. You can see how it can be a little looking different, but they're all cute. So, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Have a magical day. Bye now. Bye.